You know, in the security world, you're the one who's supposed to have a level head, right? You're paid to protect people, property, information, the whole shebang. But what happens when the very person paying your bills asks you to do something that just feels wrong? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
So let's just put you right in the hot seat. Imagine a client comes to you and they're offering a massive payday. I mean, life-changing money. But the catch? The request just makes your stomach clench. This isn't just a tough choice, you know? It's the kind of decision that can literally make or break your entire career.
And there it is. No gray area. A direct order to break the law. Now, they'll tell you it's for a noble cause, right? We got to catch this thief. But the method, it's illegal surveillance. The pressure is on. So what's your play? What do you tell them? Well, the good news is, in moments like that, you don't have to just go with your gut. The security profession has a rule book for these exact situations. It's the Code of Ethics from ASIS International, which is, the big deal organization for security pros. Seriously, think of it like an ethical GPS that guides you through the messiest situations imaginable.
And hey, if you're studying for any of your ASIS certifications, the PSP, CCP, PCI, any of them, then listen up. This isn't just some nice-to-know info. This is absolutely critical. Ethics questions are all over those exams, and not knowing this code, well, that can be the one thing that separates a pass from an instant fail. So yeah, you're going to want to master this.
So what's at the heart of this code? It all boils down to 5 core tenets. And don't worry, these aren't some complicated legal things you need a law degree to understand. They're actually simple, powerful principles that are the bedrock of what it means to be a professional in this field. Okay, here they are, just at a glance. We're going to break down each one, but I want you to see them all together first. You've got upholding the law, acting with integrity, being efficient, protecting secrets, and avoiding conflicts of interest. Pretty much any ethical mess you find yourself in, the answer is going to be in one of these 5 points. Let's start with the big one, the most important tenet, hands down. Uphold the law. This is totally non-negotiable, and it gives us the direct answer to that whole wiretapping scenario. It doesn't matter who the client is or how much money is on the table. If what they're asking is illegal, your first duty is to the law. Full stop. You have to refuse. Next up, act with integrity. Okay, this sounds obvious, right? But it is the absolute bedrock of your reputation. Every single report you file, every recommendation you make, every conversation you have, it all has to be based on honesty. In this business, trust is your currency, and integrity is how you earn it. Now, this one is super practical. Be efficient and effective. What this really means is you're there to serve the client's actual needs, not your own bank account. So, for example, it's totally unethical to push a client to buy a whole fortress of crazy expensive cameras if a simple alarm system would do the job just because you get a bigger commission. Your job is to solve their problem, not to upsell them. Oh man, protecting confidentiality is a huge one. As a security professional, clients are literally handing you the keys to their kingdom. You know their weaknesses, you have their floor plans, you have their security codes. That information has to be guarded like gold. A breach of confidentiality isn't just a slip-up, it's a catastrophic failure. And the final tenet is all about avoiding conflicts of interest. This slide gives a perfect classic example. Let's say you're hired as a consultant to design a security system. You're supposed to be objective. Well, you can't then turn around and bid on the job to install that system as a vendor. That's a conflict. The only way forward is to tell the client everything, full disclosure, so they can make the call with their eyes wide open. Okay, so we've got these 5 tenets, but let's be real. When you're under pressure, how do you apply them on the fly? Well, there's a really simple mental checklist for that. Let's call it the golden rule test for sticky situations. It all comes down to just 3 questions. That's it. 3 little checks you can run any decision through to see if it's on the level. This is your go-to guide for making the right call every single time. So here's the test. First, ask yourself, is it illegal? If the answer is yes, you stop. Period. Don't pass go. Second, is it a safety risk? Again, if it's a yes, you stop. And third, is it a conflict of interest? Now, if it's this one, your action is a little different. You don't necessarily stop, but you must disclose it. You have to tell the client what's going on. So just remember, stop, disclose. Simple as that. All right, let's put this little tool to work, shall we? We'll take a super common scenario and run it through our golden rule test and see how it gives us a clear path forward. Okay, so here's the dilemma. Your boss is leaning on you to oversell a client on some expensive hardware just to hit a sales target. So let's apply the code. Principle number 3, be efficient and effective, says no way, you can't do that. And our golden rule test? Well, it's not illegal, but it's definitely a conflict of interest, isn't it? It's your boss's interests versus the client's. See, the code gives you the clarity and the backup to push back.
As we start to wrap this up, it's so important to remember that all of this is about way more than just passing an exam. It's about who you are as a professional. It's about your career.
I think this quote just nails it. The code isn't about holding you back with a bunch of rules. It's a roadmap. It's a tool that helps you make the right call, build a killer reputation, and have a long, successful career built on the one thing that matters most: trust. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. We've talked about the golden rule for security pros, but what about for you in your line of work? What's that one simple rule, that core idea that helps you navigate your toughest professional choices? Think about it.